elusiveness and ability for a big man to run? What do you see from his mobility?
Yeah, I mean, Justin he's an athletic quarterback. He does a good job of course, just ID and defenses, getting his offense in the correct play. Smart decisions with the football. He does a really good job of just protecting the football, which is very impressive. Only 3 interceptions on the year, so we know it'll be very difficult to take the ball away from him. But it'll be a collective effort, right? We have to have a really good rush up front. We got to be by our coverages. We have to be disciplined in our coverages, and also knowing that he is athletic enough to escape the pocket and get out, and he can make plays on you there. So really good quarterback. Impressed with what he's done just throughout his career.
And I'm sure you don't see it because I know you're laser focused. I understand that. But national media talk right now is just super, just not giving you guys a chance. Real disrespectful. And a lot of things that they're saying, like Rex Ryan said that the Chargers basically have a bye. Like, is that something you lean into? Is that you talk about? Or you completely ignore it? It's up for us to have fun with it.
Yeah, for us, I don't think, it doesn't matter. If anybody gives us a shot, it really doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, when the ball is kicked off, it's who's the best football team right on Saturday. And that's where our focus is, on playing really good football. Everybody have an opinion about us one way or the other, but outside opinion really doesn't drive what we do here internally. Like, our guys put the work in, they know what we're about. We know what we're about, so it really doesn't matter to me on all the outside noise.
So something like that, just not even like bulletin board material. It's just.
I mean, for me, it's something like that. What does it do? Does it make you play harder because somebody said that? Does it change? Like, we play hard anyway. Like, we're going to bring our style of football, our brand of football on Saturday, regardless or irregardless of what anyone a talking head's opinion is about us, right? So it really doesn't drive or doesn't change our approach one bit.
Chargers rushing attack, J.K. Dobbins, been hurt a bunch in his career, but seems to be pretty healthy for them. Came back from the injury. They also use Edwards a little bit. What have you kind of seen from their ability to run the ball and kind of how Harbaugh's been able to implement that?
Yeah, with the running game, they're going to be persistent with the running game, and with them being persistent, they churn out yards. The backs, both backs are good, physical backs, really good contact balance, which you have to wrap up and tackle these guys. They knock a lot of guys off. You think there's a lot of plays, a ton of plays where guys have them in the backfield for a tackle for loss. In some kind of way, they slide out and continue to gain more yards. So, collectively as a defense, we have to play our brand of ball. That's swarming to the football. Everybody tackling, wrapping up. We got to do a better job of tackling, but it takes more than one guy being at the football versus both of the backs.
Well, when you're watching the film, what stands out to you about Ladd McConkey?
With McConkey, the thing that stands out the most is just his route running ability, right? It really jumps off the tape, just how detailed he is with his routes, how urgent he is with his route. Like, at the top of the route, he does a really good job at break points. So he's a tough cover, right? He's a tough cover. They do a good job of motioning him around, moving him to different spots in the formation. But, I mean, he's a dynamic player, not only with the routes, but once he gets the ball in his hands, he can be explosive as well. So he's a tough cover in the slot, one of the better slots we've seen all year.
Do you have much dealings with Harbaugh, and what are your thoughts on what he's done this season after making the move?
Yeah, I'm impressed with what Coach Harbaugh has done. He's done a great job of turning his team around. His first year there, he's a veteran coach. He's been doing it for a long time, former player, former quarterback. He understands football, knows what it takes to win football games, and that's how his teams operate. They do a great job of being balanced, running the football, and staying with the run. That's the one thing I see, and they take their explosive shots when they have an opportunity to. But they're just a smart, sound football team in all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams. All are sound in what they do. They don't make a ton of mistakes. They don't have a ton of penalties. They don't hurt themselves a lot, and that allows them to stay in football games and have an opportunity in the fourth quarter to close it out.
Arian Foster was named by the organization as this week's team captain or game captain. He hasn't really been around the fold as much. How good is it to see him back? And just thinking back on your time playing with him, what do you feel like he's meant to this organization?
It'll be great to have Arian back. He was a big-time player for us. He ran the ball, carried us a lot, running the football, making a lot of plays. I played against Aaron when he was a freshman at Tennessee, so I had played against him when I was at Bama, and I knew sometimes you just know good players. So I knew Arian, like, when he was a freshman, I'm like, man, this kid is going to be a really good player. And a couple years later, we're able to get him here in Houston. And even though he's a free agent, he turned out to be a dynamic player for us. So it'll be exciting. Our fans will be excited to see him, back in the building.
Can you talk about the matchup up front, just on the lines? You talk a lot about your defensive line, but you know what they have in terms of their offensive line, just that matchup and what you're expecting from it.
With our defensive line versus their offensive line, that'll be the key matchup of the game. Like, they've done a really good job of protecting Justin all year. And for us, we've gotten after the passer pretty good all year. So they're good, we're good. So that's what playoff football is about. Like, who's going to win that matchup? We'll have a lot of opportunities versus their guys. But Justin also does a good job of getting the ball out, making good decisions, as I said earlier. So we're up for the challenge, right?
Defense and some of their pass rushers. The other day you mentioned Bosa and Mack. They've got some other guys, Dupree, the USC kid. What have you kind of seen from their depth and where they kind of bring the rushers from with those extra guys?
Their defensive line, they do a really good job of, as you said, mixing guys in, different guys rushing, do a really good job. I think Jesse's done a great job of just sending a lot of different pressures with a lot of different guys in different spots. So they've done a great job there to generate pressure. Even it may not be just a four-man rush, guys rushing off the edge, but collectively all those guys done a great job. You can throw Derwin in the mix as well as a rusher. He's one of the better blitzers in the league, and he's done a really good job. So they have a really good collection of talented guys who can get after the passer.
He doesn't know. Go ahead, DJ.
Throughout the season, you've done a really good job. Well, the defense done a really good job of slowing down some pretty good quarterbacks. Obviously, Justin is a Pro Bowl level quarterback. Throughout the year, what has allowed you to be able to convey whatever message, whatever game plan consistently to your team to be able to execute on Sundays or Mondays or Thursdays, whatever that matter is, to play at a high level and cause some duress for the opposing quarterbacks?
My message to our team, it doesn't change. Like, from our first day up until this week, my message doesn't change. We're going to be a relentless group. Like, in everything that we do, like, we're going to play hard. We're going to be a physical team. We're going to operate with precision. We're going to play with great effort. Like, that doesn't change, right? And we're going to be sticklers. I'm a stickler for the fundamentals, like, and being on the details of your job. When you do those things the right way, like, you set yourself up to be in position to make the plays that you need to make, right? And it doesn't change for me. It's about just being focused for 4 quarters, locked in on your assignment, and then allowing your God-given abilities to take over and make the plays that you're supposed to make. All of our guys done a really good job just, buying in and believing in what we're asking them to get done. It's all the players, man. They do an outstanding job of getting it done on game day.
Coach, what have you seen from the change, as far as the offensive line is concerned since Titus Howard has been moved to right guard? I know that nobody really talks about the offensive line unless they're criticizing, but it seems like there's been a change over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Titus has done a really good job stepping in at the left guard spot, and he's handled himself very well. I mean, playing tackle to move in the guard, and it's been a very seamless transition, unselfish by him. That's the type of mindset we want from all our players. It's just a team-first mindset of whatever it takes for our team to be successful, to put us in position to win. Like, everybody needs to be willing to do that. Titus was willing to make the move, and I think we've been better up front with Titus in at the guard position. And as much credit to Titus and to all the guys, how they continue to work well together. I mean, Patterson stepping in at center, I think he's grown. He's continued to get better with the communication. It's operating at the center position. Then we had Juice step in at right guard last week. So you see guys moving around to different spots, but it's about just getting our best guys out there and going and competing. That's what O-line, offensive line play is about. It's gritty, it's tough. You don't get a lot of love, a lot of pats on the back, but everybody's going to criticize you when it goes wrong, but you just have to make sure you just stay the course and just keep grinding, playing tough, gritty football.
Early in the week, but having Foley back and some other guys that were able to practice it, you feel relatively healthy heading into the stretch run here?
Yeah, we're feeling pretty healthy. Foley, getting him back will be big for us. He's done a really good job of helping us with our run defense. So getting him back will be huge. And overall, at this point of the season, to be where we are health-wise, I think we're in a really good spot. So try to stay that way.
You mentioned the Chargers moving McConkey around quite a bit. We've seen at times you ask Derek Stingley to follow some of the top options on the other team receiving-wise. Do you anticipate, asking him to do that a little bit for this Chargers game, or has Kamari kind of vouched
Want me
to
to
go
tell
up
you my
against
game plan?
this?
All right, thank you guys.
great of a leader you are. Do you know where they came from, or was there someone you looked up to as a leader when you were younger, or can you put your finger on that?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say my father. First is just my dad led me in a lot of ways. I had a lot of great father figures as well, like with coaches and men in my community. Um, Man, that was probably like the options there was just learning to follow and then lead, and then my high school coach, Coach Verdi, Coach Day, Coach Dennis, who was my quarterbacks coach at Ohio State, led me a lot of ways. Coach Fitch, who I told you guys about before at Ohio State, and then DeMeco, and so I just believe that I don't think I'm a. I don't know. That's probably a bad thing to say about yourself, but I don't think I'm all that when it comes to lead. I just try to be myself, and I don't know. I should be. I don't know. I'm stubborn in a lot of ways, and yeah, I think that kind of carried into the sport. But like even as a kid, my mom used to always say how stubborn I was, and I think just having a standard is how I hear it. Is like stubborn is I just have a standard on how I like things to be done and how I hold myself as a standard. So yeah.
It's a quick follow-up though, but you might not answer this well since you said you don't think you're a great leader. Do you, like if you had to put into words what you think a great leader is, what would it be?
I would say it would have to be making everybody around you better. Kind of like a point guard on the offense, a quarterback on the football team, a pitcher, on the baseball team. But yeah, just making everybody around you better. But I wouldn't say I don't think I'm a bad leader. I don't think that. I just don't look at myself in that light of like just I'm all world at that. But I try my best to lead by example, and it's cool because I don't ask guys and to hear what they have to say about that is kind of cool. So.
The matchup with the Chargers, what do you see some things that jump out about their defense, and how ready do you guys feel for the playoffs, just in terms of this is second year for you all back in this position?
Yeah, Derwin, jumps off on film. I think he's having almost his best year of his career, rushing the quarterback, playing in nickel, safety, doing great in coverage, So, yeah, he's definitely, I feel like one of the best players on the team, along with Bosa and Khalil Mack. And then, Deion, who's one of my friends, is playing really well as well. And then they have a good back end, but their D-line as well is really good. So, I mean, all around, they're really good. So, but that's what the playoffs are is, their best versus our best. And got to do our best to, handle what they're going to do and play hard and, try to execute every play as best as we can.
What has been some of the difference in the protection that you've had since Titus has moved from right tackle to left guard?
Yeah, he's been able to do a great job in there and holding his own, definitely just being just a comfort blanket, I knowing that he's going to do his job every time and just have that interior locked down or, that interior structure, like it's kind of like a wall, there's three interior guys. So, it's definitely helpful having him in there. I'm just, happy that, he's happy doing it. And, I'm proud of him that he, is that type of guy for the team is to go in there, even though his natural position is tackle, but to go in there and have success has been really awesome to watch.
The red zone numbers jump out. Their defense is so elite in that category, number one, I believe, in the NFL. What hasn't quite clicked at times for you guys offensively in the red zone, and how key is it that you guys figure that out in the playoffs, starting with the Chargers game?
I would say, they're a bend don't break type of defense. They don't really give up a whole bunch of explosive plays. They make you earn it. So when they bend and they don't break in the red zone. So I think they do a good job in there, and they rally tackle. No one takes a play off. But yeah, I think we've been halfway decent in the red zone this year, better than we've been in the past. The last couple of weeks haven't been ideal all the time, but I mean, except for really the Ravens game, I would say we've been decent in the red zone, scoring touchdowns, getting points. So yeah, I would say just got to be our best.
Win the division, even amidst a lot of injuries, especially on offense, Steph, Tank, interior offensive line. How do you feel like you were able to handle just all this shifting and having pieces coming in and out? How do you feel like you were able to just handle that, help get the Texans to the spot where they are hosting the playoff game?
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. It's been a very, very tough year, just with injuries and, things like that. So just trying my best, to lead and just make everybody around me better who is in the game and, getting a rapport for receivers and things like that. And, just trying to stay healthy with with what I got, and I think it's not just me out there; it's everybody out there fighting every day to make plays happen, and we put ourselves in position to be division champs. Another 10-win season, which is good, and of course, our standard wasn't necessarily hit in the regular season, but that's why the postseason is fresh start. 0-0, and now we got to do our best to put our best foot forward and play our best ball. So, we got the guys we got. I've been able to practice with them for 2 weeks now, which is nice. So, should be a lot better, I think, coming up this week.
You said your standard wasn't hit in the regular season. Now you get a fresh start. Why do you believe the fresh start will help, or why do you think you can hit your stride or your standard now?
Just because the playoffs is like a new win. It feels like a new season. It feels like everything in the past is over. It's a new year. So there's a bunch of things that I can sit here and round down why it feels like. I feel like you ask any other team in the NFL, they're going to say the same thing. It's just you're more excited just because, you got the hard part of the season done. Now it's go play your best ball, go show your best stuff. And that's fun. That's the fun part of ball. And, of course it is that in the regular season, but it's also some things, where it's more, I would say, thoughtful. You're not playing against some of the guys you're used to playing against. Now we're playing against all AFC teams and, building a rapport. Been, playing against this tree of defense for a while. So, kind of like how they scheme things up and what they like to do. So, yeah, I would say that's some of the reasons why, this season, the postseason feels like, it's a fresh start.
CJ, you all are considered the underdogs this week going up against the Chargers. There's a lot of naysayers, nationally saying that you all can't get it done. How are you all able to block out that type of noise and just continue to focus on what you have to do?
Yeah, I mean, noise is always going to be there. It's always, it's part of the sport. It's always evident in the sport. And they said the same thing about us last year, so playing the Browns. And I'm not saying this last year, but, we went out there and we did what we had to do to win. And that's ultimately what the playoffs come down to is like, it's 14 teams now and, the microscope is on you. We're the first team to kick it off with the Chargers. And, so everybody has their own opinions, which they're entitled to have those things. So, I really don't mind. I mean, it's part of it. Guys are smart. They probably can see film and see that, whatever they want to see. So, and for us, we know we have faith in what we can do and know that we're motivated to play. I kind of like being an underdog. I've been an underdog a lot of my life and my career, so it's actually comfortable for me. So, but, yeah, I don't really think too much about it.
Going back to last year, what is the biggest difference between you now heading into the playoffs and you last year?
Second year, just another season under my belt, regular season ball, and being able to play in the playoffs last year was definitely helpful to know the standard and what it takes to win these games. So I would say that's definitely the helpful part of having a second year in the playoffs.
We're going to close with Christy, Chance, Will.
Taking you out of the NFL for a second, do you have any prediction for the other important football game this week with Ohio State and Texas?
Yeah, I got the Bucks, man, all day. I got a lot of UT guys here, so I got a lot of bets going on. And if you see some guys in Scarlet on Saturday morning, you know where it came from. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a heck of a game. A lot of former teammates on Ohio State, and one of my best friends actually plays for UT, Silas Bowden, and he had a punt return last week, which was cool. So we're rooting for him and him only. And I like Quinn too. Quinn was my former teammate, but I'm going Bucks all day. So Bucks.
Stranger to Jim Harbaugh-led teams. Just what have you grown to learn about the identity of the teams that he's got a chance to coach?
Yeah, he's somebody who is used to these playoff environments. Coaches his team tough. I know that they're gonna be motivated to play. He knows how to get his team motivated, and we're motivated too. So it's gonna be fun. This playoffs about dog versus dog. And show your best stuff. So I know they're gonna be ready. We're getting ready over here, so it should be exciting. But yeah, he does a great job of coaching his teams.
Back to the other game. Quinn was saying yesterday that he really learned, how to be like a professional quarterback from you and the guys at Ohio State. Do you remember anything about Quinn during his time there? I know it was pretty short-lived, but
yeah, when he first came in, he was still like 17. He was really young. And I try my best to, teach him the ropes on like what it looks like, and we would go out into the city sometimes, and I would try to help him on like ways to be, and how people are always watching, and you know, and I'm not perfect still in that as well, and I know maybe he's not, but like it is something that I try to do, and even now, like with Keaton and, you know, some of the guys who haven't been in these positions, and I'm still learning myself. Like there's a lot of things that I didn't know about the NFL, what comes with it, but I'm blessed enough to know, you know, that you know, God has entrusted me with this platform, and I'm trying my best to be as best as a person as I can, the best man of God I can, and I think for him, his faith is very important for him as well, and to see him grow in that area, you know, from the time he was 17 and now is really dope. So, you know, I've been rooting him on for a long time. He's doing a great job. You know, Coach Sark is doing a great job with that program, and, you know, they're very well coached, and, you know, they've been playing really well, and, you know, Arizona State, they look like they snuck away, but that's Arizona State playing some good ball, you know. So yeah, what'd you go to Arizona State?
We got Rob. We got Rob. Should have been a target.
I like that running back. Running back, nice. The receiver, number one, he's a good player. So yeah, but you know, I think Quinn has done a great job. Just, you know, a lot of the noise that, you know, that you deal with, you know, being the hero or the zero. You know, he's done a great job of holding that weight and doing well while playing well. So yeah, all right, guys. Have a good one.